Hello and welcome back to Ivy Grove. My name is Nick and today we've got a really cool interview lined up with a good friend of mine, Willie Weeks. Willie is a multi-platinum selling producer and writer. He's had a lot of success, especially in K-pop and J-pop. That's Korean and Japanese pop, if you don't know. And yeah, he's worked with some of the biggest names, BTS, Monsta X, NCT and Sixtones, to name a few. It was just really interesting to hear how it all started for him. What was it that made him want to become a songwriter and producer? What advice would he give someone that's just starting out? Who would he just love to collaborate? What would be his dream collaboration? What one bit of kit would he take with him to a desert island if he could only take one? Yeah, I'd encourage you to watch it to the end. Really, really good stuff in there. If you haven't done so, if you could hit that subscribe button, we'd really appreciate it. Thank you to everyone that has done. We just appreciate your support in this journey and what we're putting out. We're really glad you're enjoying it. And yeah, enjoy the video and we'll see you on Sunday for another cover. We're here with Willie Weeks, legendary producer, a really good friend of mine. Looking forward to everything he's got for us. So let's fire straight in, Willie. Will, can you tell everyone when was it that you first knew that you wanted to be a songwriter and producer?
It's got to be pretty early on. I think I started off writing songs when I was 13 years old. And my brothers gave me some music production equipment, but it's like out of the dark ages. It was like this stuff from the 70s. So I had it in my bedroom. I don't know why. So I just started learning to write songs. I think it was when I heard like the early Pharrell Williams, like NERD stuff, and I was listening to it and then geeking out over the music and the sound of it and thinking, oh, I'd just love to make music that sounds like this one day and like have live drums but like programmed stuff. And yeah, that really got me excited, alongside all the music that I'd listened to when I was growing up, soul and funk, and wanting to like play on albums as a musician. But yeah, I think when I was 13, I started to write my own songs and thinking I could do this myself. And
yeah. So from an early age, you were surrounded by music, weren't you?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I was kind of sat at the piano from like 2 years old at home, and I I got two older brothers who are both producers and musicians as well, and a dad who had a band we all grew up playing in. So yeah, it was like everywhere and always listening to music and being told, you know, read the credits on these sleeves so you like learn about other musicians, and yeah, and everything from like classical music, like on weekends my dad would be like chilling, lying, listening to that, or it's like the weirdest like guitarist, you know, like John Scofield and all these guys.
Aren't you named after a famous bass player?
Yeah, this is a nightmare. I keep getting emails to like my Facebook and like website. There's a bass player called Willie Weeks who's like one of the best bass players ever. He played for Donny Hathaway and Eric Clapton. He's on like one of the Stevie Wonder songs, He's Mr. Know-It-All. Yeah. And now I get all these emails from people in America saying, hey Willie, haven't seen you since '64 when you're on tour with Donny, and I hope it'd be great to get in touch. I'm like, he's I don't know, must be like a 70-year-old black guy, and I'm like a 30-year-old white guy. It's like, do you not get the clue from my website picture? And then one guy was insisting. He was like, no, it's definitely you, man. I'm trying to get in touch with you. I'm like, I'm really sorry, it's not. Yeah, that was my dad named me after, I think, kind of intentionally.
So what was the first instrument that you, took to? Was it the piano because you started playing that?
Yeah, definitely piano. And yeah, I've got memories of just sitting down, playing for hours and just making things up. Never really had any lessons. I think I had like 2 or 3 lessons and I hated them. I think I remember just crying when I came to my mum. She was like a really strict piano teacher. Mum was like, you don't have to do piano lessons. So yeah, I just played piano like all my life. I think drums was the first like main instrument I took really seriously and did lessons in when I was again like 13, 14. Did some jazz lessons and some orchestral stuff, and then studied at college with you. We're at the same college together. So yeah, did like 2 years degree and a higher diploma in it.
What would you say so far is your biggest achievement as a producer and songwriter in your career?
Yeah, apart from like getting married, having 3 kids. As a producer, I definitely like, especially in the pandemic, just trying to like celebrate everything, and like every little win is like a big win, especially when you're a songwriter. It's such a long-term, you know, slow burning thing you have to work towards, you know, getting any kind of success. So every little win's a big win. My greatest successes have definitely been since I've started doing K-pop stuff, a couple of singles with this band Monsta X. I've actually had 3 in a row, which is just like mind-blowing even for myself now, so that's been really cool. And then lately, another song for this Japanese band, Sixtones, or I think you could say it's Stones. Yeah, they've like blown all my other songs out of the water kind of successfully. They sold 500,000 copies in like a couple of weeks and went double platinum. So in terms of like, you know, obvious like commercial success, that was like mind-blowing to have a song that kind of hits those numbers. Where you don't really see that kind of in too many artists.
It's amazing.
So,
those that don't know, Will does a lot of writing for K-pop, J-pop stuff. So can you tell us, Will, what's it like writing in those? What's different about writing for in those styles?
It's very different. Yeah, I spent 10 years doing like Western pop, you know, for UK, Europe, American artists, and it's all very minimal, very concise. Like the chords, more than often than not, are very repetitive, but it's all about the coolness and like, you know, the lyrics. Obviously, in K-pop, I actually fell in love with it because of like the variety of different styles that either in one song or, you know, across an artist's different, you know, they'll have an album that's got, you know, 5 different kind of vibes on it. It just meant a freedom as a musician to be able to like do lots of different styles and you know, express my musicality and use different skills that I have, like enjoying funk and be able to do some funky stuff, and enjoying pop and, you know, kind of doing like a trap kind of thing. And yeah, I had to kind of learn like K-pop as well as being like very intense, they're very involved, and like changing every section has to be like really different. So, you know, they love their melancholic, like emotional feelings, but then they love the kind of explosive chorus and melodies that really hit hard. So yeah, it was a lot to learn and a lot to kind of get right even now. Learning different bands and their different traits and their different styles, their different sounds also. I just fell in love with the options of like doing so many different types of music.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
If you could do any collaboration, who would be your dream, like absolute dream all-time collaboration?
Absolute dream. Oh mate, Phil Collins. No, I don't know.
To be in the studio with, you know, like, you know, if you were really pushed, like, who would
have to pick one?
Yeah,
maybe Bruno Mars, just because of like, he's obviously a great songwriter, obviously a great musician, like singer, and obviously one of the, you know, it sounds like his music's a lot of fun as well in terms of the music I enjoy. So that'd be really fun. Yeah, I think so. I'm tempted to say a producer like Max Martin or something like that. He's had like hundreds of hits, just to like be in the studio and like see what they do as well. That'd be really cool. Keep listening to the radio, and like even like a couple of weeks ago I was like, oh, this sounds amazing. Like one day who the producer was, and listening and look it up, and it's Max Martin. Like this guy, he needs to chill out, stop producing.
What do you? This is quite is a big question. What do you love and hate about the music industry? Maybe hate's a strong word, or, you know. Yeah. What do you not like so much about it? Because obviously, I mean, it's changed so much, hasn't it, in the last? Yeah,
something that's really similar together that I both kind of love and hate is that I love the community of songwriters that I've got to know. Like especially in K-pop, there's actually quite a small circle of guys in the UK, Sweden, LA, and Korea, and a couple of other countries. And everyone's like so encouraging, and they're all kind of watching out for when people are releasing songs, and obviously, you know, we all follow each other, so we see when stuff's coming out, and we love reading, like, you know, the credits on big releases, see which of your friends might have, you know, got on a thing. So that's like something and like doing the song camps, you get to know all the different writers, and you spend time, and even though everyone's aiming for the same song placements, you know, you're competing to sell your songs, everyone's really chilled about it. And they actually I've worked with guys who are like 10 years, 20 years ahead of me, and they've had like tens of like smash hits, and they've all been so humble and just like really encouraging to me. They've never like stamped their foot down and said, well, I've had like 100 billion song sales, so let's do what I want to do. They're always like really encompassing and stuff. So that's been like, I really love the community of songwriters, that's particularly in K-pop and J-pop. Then also there's this weird thing in the music industry that is the comparative of like looking at other songwriters and seeing what they're doing, and just the danger of like getting caught up in one, you know, worrying about, you know, everyone else is getting song cuts and I'm not, and just the timing of it as well, just being like focused on your own lane, like what you've got in front of you and your own plans, and yeah, talking to most other songwriters, I think that's like a real big kind of bugbear, and just yeah, it can be quite a sore point, you know, and just following social media and getting lost in. You're looking at all these world-class songwriters, so they're all going to have amazing song sales. So, but it's just it's just not good to like keep watching it and worrying about, you know, competing with it. All you can do is just like, if you can have the mindset of celebrating them, yeah, you'll be fine. Yeah, so it's really like, it's closely intertwined. I've been like thinking about it a lot, you know, the last couple of years, the more I've grown into this community. But
that's such good advice. There's no one that can give you a map, a sort of a roadmap as to sort of career-wise, say this is what you do. Like you've got to find that for yourself, and you can't be, you know, looking at someone else and comparing, because everyone's different, everyone's unique, you know, and you've got to follow your own route, you know. Yeah,
I've seen guys who've like been 16 and they've had like a cut with the biggest band like straight away, and I'm looking at them thinking like, I've been doing this for 5-6 years and I haven't even had, you know, some cut. And then I've seen guys who are like 52, 53, like there's this one guy who's just been doing it since that age, and he's become one of the best K-pop producers ever, and like now he's like 10 years on from there, and just, you know,
yeah, amazing,
a bit easier. But yeah, it's really inspirational. Like again, just like people's own timing, you have to think about your own timing, and just being patient and enjoying, you know, like I was saying, hanging out and making music.
Yeah, if you enjoy doing it, it doesn't feel like that, because you love what you're doing, you love that sort of the creation and the process, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Who inspires you? These are big questions. Well, let's stay within the realm of music.
Yeah, and actually for me, it's actually more about my team that inspire me, because I'm actually like listening less to the radio now, and like, well, I say less, I'm just listening to a lot of Spotify. So I do try and, you know, keep listening to what's going on and like find stuff that's new and excites me. Some really cool new artists, this girl Ash Niku. Yeah, but then also my team, like they're all kind of so well focused and doing like slightly different styles of music to me. We'll always be sharing music and just encouraging each other in terms of like where we could be looking and like what we could be listening to. We're always sending playlists to each other and stuff, just to like keep fresh and kind of stay on the front foot. And also just having those conversations like about what we're doing and what's coming up and music. And for me, that's really inspiring, just like chatting through, you know, having a bit of a wider perspective and like stepping back and like, taking the pressure off like the media, which is really good. So yeah, it helps having a good team, people you can chat to and just have a bit of perspective from. Yeah,
absolutely.
That's all right.
What advice would you give someone that's just starting out as a songwriter or producer? I mean, what was it? I mean, was there something that someone told you when you first started, back when you were 13, you got given that gear? I mean, what would you say?
I think, write as many songs as you can. Like, obviously thinking about quality each time, but I've found, especially the last 2-3 years, I've probably written the most amount of songs just because I've been dedicated to it so much. But I've definitely found the quality of my songs really, really quickly increase just from exercising the muscle every day, and also listening to so much music and trying to create like hit songs is an exercise in the muscle. And the more I've tried to do it, and I'm kind of getting closer at doing it each time. Obviously you're always going to write rubbish songs every now and then, but I've kind of built an ear where I can hear what works better and what's, you know, a stronger hook or what's a better song. Listen to a variety of music is good, like we were saying before, like stay kind of listening and keep up to date in terms of what's relevant. And but then I think the best advice I was given, which was again by my publisher, was just trust in like your gut instincts of what you want to make on the day. So it's kind of the best results I've always had are when I've just like had a splurge and just done like what comes naturally to me. And even though that might not be like formulaic kind of pop thing, it usually like hits with people way more. They're like, they feel the emotion, and that's always been when I've just like done what just comes naturally and feels like really easy to do. And I think that's the best thing, because then you're doing what's only you, and you're not trying to copy anyone, which is, you know, a bad road to go down, you know, you're just copycatting. And then your sound will be more obvious, because it'll be, you know, your choice of sounds that you feel more affiliation with, which is, you know, then you start to mesh that together. The more you do it, the more kind of obvious it'll be.
Great. So final question, if you could only take one piece of equipment with you onto a desert island and you had to produce, what would it be? And
can I have my laptop is obviously like...
You can have your laptop, but not your charger.
Everything. Yeah, I got 5 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question. You know what? I would take this little guy, because this is like everything in one.
Oh, wow.
Like
Okay.
OP1
So
teenage engineering thing.
Okay, explain what that is to people that look, it looks like a Game Boy that you just held.
Yeah, it looks like a computer game, but it's a keyboard, so I could play my sounds, and it's got synths and drum synths built into it. It's got a little microphone, so you can like record your voice into it and sample it. You can get the radio on it, so it has a little antenna.
No way.
You can like screw through the radio, and then like you can sample the radio onto it. And it's got loads of effects, and it's got like a tape machine, so you can actually record like 4-track songs and then like layer stuff on, and then you can send it all to your computer as like tracks and then mess with it further. So it's like everything you'd need in one.
There you go. And then you just need like a solar panel to charge it, right?
Yeah. Just hold it up to the side.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Willie, for joining us here on Ivy Grove, and
Thanks for having me, mate.
It's been so good, just and inspirational to hear, you know, your journey. We're excited to see, you know, what's next for you in 2021. You got plenty of projects coming up.
Yeah, just started working with a few artists, a few good releases coming up. There's first song coming out with this band NCT tomorrow, which is one of my favourite K-pop bands, so that's super exciting. And then yeah, who knows, the rest of the year I don't know, I just kind of like keep going.
Well, thanks so much, Willie. Yeah, guys, we'll see you all soon.